Yesterday, a friend and I were talking about what is real worship and this pressure that sometimes churches, as in the buildings, not the church, unintentionally, there are some believers who unintentionally put expectation that you should be praising. And what does a sacrifice of praise really look like? You know, do you force yourself when you're grieving to stand up and jump around? Does it mean something's wrong with you if you don't? Does it mean that you're giving in to the heaviness if you don't? Or if we take a look at the Psalms and we see David's Psalms of Lament, where he was very, very vivid about how he was feeling, but then he would speak to his soul. Soul, put your hope in God, for he will rescue you. And I know I have the words wrong, but the point is he encouraged himself in the Lord, but also allowed space for his grief. Sometimes when I'm really not feeling it, I'm struggling with something, I might sit down during worship. If I'm at a traditional worship service, and I'll get out my little notebook I keep in my purse. I'll draw, I'll write, I'll listen, I'll write, and that to me is a form of worship too. Maybe worship is not always musical praise. Maybe worship can also involve lament. Can we grieve in a way that allows space for our sadness without giving in to resentment and bitterness, without it becoming a stronghold? Can we worship by grieving in a way that honors God? Can we worship even though we don't have it in us in that moment to dance before the Lord? Just something to think about. And I know there's a time and a place to bring, our mind and our body into submission to the truth. And I'm not denying that. I'm just challenging you today to ask yourself, how can lament and grief be an act of worship, a sacrifice of praise? And what does that really look like? Can we reevaluate that? And can we be okay with living in the tension? Because God is with you in it if you ask him to be. God bless.